Welcome back to Tax Talk with Hey Hey, where we offer simplified tax planning and mentorship to help 6 and 7-figure CEOs ditch the daily hustle by achieving financial independence from your business by increasing your purchasing power and diversifying your source of passive income. Through financial mentorship, realistic goal setting, and simplified tax planning, without having to hustle for the rest of your life, with the guarantee of the optimal roadmap to move you towards your desired time freedom. Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome back to Tax Talk with Hey Hey. My name is Suhey Piedra with Prominence Business, and today we're going to be talking about the cost of doing your bookkeeping. Yep. So, Cruz, you handle the majority of the books in the office for all our clients. And you've been doing bookkeeping for many years. Mm-hmm. You're QuickBooks certified. Yep. So tell me, what is one common mistake that is truly very costly for clients when you take over their books?
The biggest one, and the one that irks us the most, because I know it gets all of us, is when they get loans from a bank or a lender or something like that, and in their books, they include it as income. So, in the reports, their money's coming in. Well, the loan was deposited into a bank account, and then they categorize it as income. And it's not income, so they get taxed on it. But we don't know that until you ask the questions, or any other preparer. If you just give them a report, they're going to see it as income. Or another thing is, it's similar, is the, me personally, my business is doing good. But this month, I needed $500. So I put it out of my personal money that I got paid. I put it in the account, and that is also not income. And a lot of these people that are doing their own books, they're busy doing their own thing, but they also add it as categorize it incorrectly, and it's costing them, and they're getting taxed on that money that's not really.
So you're getting taxed on dollars,
yes,
that you did not earn.
Exactly.
And so what you have to understand is what is considered income and revenue to the business is what you're doing. If you're marketing and somebody paid you for marketing services, or if you're a consultant and somebody paid you for those consulting fees, if you're selling baked goods and somebody paid you for those baked goods, that is income. That is taxable revenue after your expenses. That's what you need to report as income, sales, or proceeds that the company received. Yep. Things like loans, things like owners' contributions, yep. All those items are not income, and therefore you shouldn't have to be paying tax on those dollars. Exactly. So to us, the reason that irks us so much is because we've seen tax returns, we've seen profit and loss statements where this was categorized as income. Yep. And no one took that extra step to really, look at these categories, and clients were charged tax on income that they should have never, or not income, on monies that should have never been categorized as income. Okay. So please be careful with that, and make sure you understand how that part of the bookkeeping works, right? Breeze, do you have anything to add to that, or what is one of the questions that you face from clients, a lot of the time?
The most common one is always the one that, they want to do it themselves. And yet they're calling and asking for help, not help, but guidance. And so, what's the biggest issue when you see those that have done it themselves versus hiring somebody that, just that's their thing?
And with bookkeeping, you hear it a lot. It's easy. A lot of people have a misunderstanding of what bookkeeping really is, and what it entails. They think it's just all the income coming in from a bank account, or my business bank account, and all the expenses going out, and then they put it together, and then there's my report. It could be easy as that, but it really isn't when you're really growing a business and you really want to strategize. And you take a lot of time away from your working your own business. First of all, you should be working and trying to grow your business, and not just coming home at night or doing the bookkeeping once a year, because it's tax season and you got to give your CPA the report now. But what happened throughout the whole year? They miss out on what really happened, what really came in. And that's where all the categorization comes in, because they're doing it so fast. They do it when they can. They don't do it on a regular monthly basis.
Oh, they don't remember what it was
and they
for.
don't remember. I mean, so yeah, that's like a huge thing where what's this expense for? And then they just miscategorize it. And if you don't have the right people behind you asking you the right questions, the stuff is just going to get either not expensed. There's a lot of missed expenses on businesses that do it themselves. And then the double, on income that's not supposed to be taxed. Mm-hmm. So that, and to me, the huge thing for me is the time.
Yes, time.
The time that it takes to do it for, like, even for us, you know, when we started the business, we were running into that problem because I was supposed to be doing the prominences books, you know, and I'm like, well, I'm doing everyone else's books. Where's the business at? Where's the review? Everything we're doing with the client. So it's like, you know, then we started, like, Brisa started helping with the books. But it's very essential. We learned that. And you have to be very, like, review your numbers on a regular basis. Have someone that can help you sit there. A lot of the clients don't like to take the time to see their numbers, but you have to. We send you the link to do it, because you need to understand where the income came in. Why is January different from February? We have to find out what was the difference there on the revenue and the expenses as well. Like, why were my expenses higher than one month or the other? And what's my true overhead?
Yes.
A lot of businesses fail on that part because they don't understand what their true overhead is costing them. You know,
well, I mean, just a common mistake that we see when we are not familiar with our numbers, we don't want to see our numbers, is the return on an investment. So yes. Clients will sometimes invest in marketing ads, social media. They buy Facebook ads. They do all this stuff, and all this money's going out. But what did it give us back? How many people did you really get from Facebook? How many, people used that coupon that you ran on that ad? Or how many calls did you get because you posted this somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And so the return on the investment is important, because why are you spending money in something that's not giving you back? So evaluate that, right? Mm-hmm. Take the time to look at that. The other one that I was going to mention when you were talking about that is we've had clients that come in and we're trying to help them with projections. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, something's just not adding up, because obviously you have another set of eyes looking at your books. And we're evaluating, and I'm just like, something's just not adding up. What is this, And so you end up finding out that half of the expenses that they prepaid, for example, were paid with their savings account. Yes. And they didn't include it in the company because the company didn't pay for them. So they're using, like, their personal funds to get the business going. Yeah. But they forgot to add those expenses to the profit and loss statement. Yep. And so when we do a tax return, maybe your business shows a profit, or you missed out on all these write-offs because they were paid through a savings account or a 401k account or, something else, or, somebody lent you money. And so I'm like, those are still business expenses, And so those are even hard for us to catch. Yeah. But sometimes it becomes common for us to ask these questions, and that's how we catch them. Mm-hmm. For example, like, okay, you said you have an office. Oh, yeah, I have an office. Where's the rent? Mm-hmm. Oh, I paid it with my personal account. Why? Well, because the business didn't have money to pay it. So that's how we'll catch little things sometimes, But it's really hard because we don't know what to ask sometimes. And so we start conversations, and that's how we start to get bits and pieces and clues, Yeah,
and that's oh, go ahead. And I think what you said was key, having another set of eyes. Mm-hmm. Because, like, the other example is when they go and have meals with somebody, mm-hmm. they put it under meals, but once you start asking, or they pay out of pocket or whatever, and they start asking more questions, oh, yeah, well, I went with this person that I was trying to pitch, or something. Well, now it's a business expense, and that gets missed a lot, too.
And that's the benefit of having a bookkeeper actually looking at your numbers, the other set of eyes. We ask certain questions that you might have not thought about as a business owner. But we get to review it on a monthly basis, so you know what happened that prior month or that regular day versus a year later when you're just gathering things up and just doing wherever just to get reports out. And then a lot of people miss out on, you're selling a product and you think you made that profit, but did you really take everything in that it takes to sell that product, like your time? A lot of people forget how much time, because I enjoy what I do and I love selling or baking my product, but how much time did it take me to bake it? That's time of mine that I should incorporate. So did you really make a profit on selling that baked good? A lot of people forget that, and it's like, it's very important in order for you to really know how healthy your business is, to, you know, understand those numbers. And sometimes because we're doing what we love to do, it doesn't really affect us. But
I think that's where the whole, like, real, purpose of the subject is what is the cost of you doing your bookkeeping? You know, what is the cost behind it all when you are not giving you yourself the worth of your time and the worth of where is your time better used, right? And so many businesses fail in the first year of opening and the first 5 years of opening. And that's because they never had a real control of those numbers. They never really understood what those numbers were trying to tell them. So when, it was big to get those PPP loans and, all these loans that they were giving away, or that, grants that we were getting, people started operating with them thinking that this was income or that their business was being successful. And in reality, you're surviving off of loans that will run out at some point. And the loans, helped you extend your survival time period, but you really need to put those loans to use so that your business does succeed, does get set up properly, so that you're not operating in the red, even though it doesn't look like you're in the red because of those loans that you received. So that's really a big misconception with these loans, is like, oh, I'm okay because I have money in the account. But do you really run a profitable business is the main question.
Exactly. And a lot of people miss that, and especially because they don't know the difference between money in the bank account versus the report, what the report actually is trying to tell you.
Yes. Those floating checks.
Yes. Floating checks, things like that. Or some of them say, once we clean up their books and I tell them this is their profit, they're like, that money's not in my bank. Where did it go? Where did all that money go? And then it's like, that's one report. So now we got to go explain, the balance sheet, the cash flow. And there's all these other reports. People mainly just focus on the income statement. But there's other reports that are very essential to the health of the business, to how the business is really doing. And having knowledge of that, it's not just doing bookkeeping and categorizing. There's a lot more that goes into it to really know and understand the health of your business. And I think that's what's very important, having a bookkeeper behind you on helping you grow your business.
Yeah, for sure. So one other question that comes to mind when people want to do their own books is, they will always say, well, I can't afford somebody. Or they'll say, I just need them for tax purposes. Yeah. And that's it. So when that happens, it goes back to, what is the cost of doing my own books? The cost behind it all is, yes, you have to pay a bookkeeper or somebody to do your books, but you want to find the right individual that's actually going to go over the numbers with you, so you have understanding of what these numbers mean. Yeah. There's many bookkeepers out there that will help you create an Excel sheet, create a QuickBooks report, but at the end of the day, that bookkeeper just did exactly what you could have done and just download everything. Yeah. And so you want somebody that'll go over those numbers with you to explain what those numbers are trying to tell you.
Exactly. And not assume. I ask questions. A lot of clients are like, oh, you ask a lot of questions. And it's like, I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm trying to get to know how I can help you and how that expense can benefit the business, or if it's not going to benefit the business. Yeah. So it's like we ask a lot of questions like that, and some people don't. They just like categorize and here you go. And they don't explain these things to you, what you're doing right, what you're not doing.
There's no thought process behind it.
Exactly. And then we set goals too. So, we just had a perfect example with a client who, they were struggling, and it's like setting goals. This is what you got to be. This is where your overhead is, clear the overhead, and then the rest will be profit. And we kept, pushing them, and now they're doing it. And it's just like, with the guidance of setting that goal that by this year, by this time we were going to do it, and they did it, and how. Not just telling you this is where you need to be.
Yes.
How many clients do you need to get? What are we going to do to get those clients?
Yes.
Network, promote each other. Like, there's a lot of working with the clients that, a good, I would say, team behind you will help you do. Instead, I could have just easily said, like, every month, here's your report, and you're at a negative, and there you go. But it's like, no, you cannot always be this way. It's like, you need to be better because I know you can. So it's like pushing them, making them understand that.
Yeah. It's not just about your overhead.
Yeah.
It's about going out and making more money.
Yes.
More money to cover the overhead, more money for you to make more money.
Yep.
So, yes, I can help you control your overhead, but in reality, what I really want is for you to go make more money.
Exactly, because a lot of people forget to pay themselves.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's the second thing that I see, that they don't pay themselves. Their business is making money. It's, they're doing the expenses, but then at the end, it's like, what did you pay for all the work that you did?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I like what I do. It's like, so do I, but I still get paid for it. You have to get paid. So it's just explaining those things to them, making them understand. When you're first starting off too, don't think, oh, I'm new and, I can do my own books because I have a little bit of transactions. It's fine, but there's also guidance that you need to do, and really understand your numbers as far as like my income. We give you an example of a Excel sheet, that's available for you to start off, so you could start seeing those numbers and start getting ready. And then there's at a certain point where it's like, okay, I don't need to spend time on my own books. I need to hire somebody because the benefit is there that I need to grow my business and have someone behind me showing me what my numbers really mean.
Yes.
So
I hope you found this information useful. The main takeaways is, what is it really costing you when you do your own books? Are you goal setting? Are you focusing on making more money and paying yourself more and controlling those overhead expenses? So when you have the right team behind you, we will help you. We will focus on what matters and get you going so that you become a successful business. And we trust the numbers that they're trying to tell us something. So.
Okay, so that wraps up today's episode. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at prominence.services and check out our website at prominencebusiness.com. Thank you.
So if your mindset is ready to excel to the next level and you want to give up the multiple hats to a business who will support you, then schedule a call with us today. We can be reached at 626-825-8249. Please give us a review and share us with your friends and family.